Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing this morning?
Blessed.
You are blessed, very blessed. God woke you up this morning.
Amen.
Some people didn't get that opportunity.
Amen.
In fact, He's probably blessed you in a lot more ways this morning than you realized. You got to stand up this morning. Some people don't get that opportunity. You got to shower and clean water. Some people don't get that opportunity.
Amen. Thank you.
You got to eat. You got to get in a car and drive here.
Thank you.
Look at all those blessings that He's done for you.
Amen.
Yes.
Already.
Amen. He ain't through yet.
And He's not through yet.
He is not done.
He's not done yet.
So in life, we have challenges every day in our life. And how we look at those challenges can determine how the rest of our day turns out. And if we take the time and look at a challenge and say, that challenge is an opportunity.
Amen.
It is an opportunity to spend time with God.
Amen.
And when you put Him into the opportunity, things are going to turn out a lot better than you might imagine.
Amen.
So what is the definition of opportunity? It's a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. You may see an increased opportunity for export, job promotion, employment. So when you think of a challenge in your life, do you think of it as an opportunity? Or do you think of it as like, how am I going to get through this? So Jack Canfield came up with this. And Urban Meyer adopted it for Ohio State. And he uses this to teach the players. E plus R equals O. And you're probably asking me, what is that? So it is event plus response equals outcome.
Yeah, amen.
All right.
Yep.
So Urban has 6 R's, he calls them, which are responses that goes to an event that you're faced with. And we'll look at those. And his first one is press pause. He teaches his players in response to any situation they face to press pause and ask, what does this situation require of me? Pressing pause gives you time to think. It gets you off autopilot and helps you gain clarity about the outcome you are pursuing.
All right.
Our minds are wired for the world. We were born into sin, so our minds automatically are wired that way. So your first thought in any challenge is going to be a negative thought, most likely. No matter what that challenge is. You're going to think, I can't do this. I can't get through that. You know, it's too big for me. But really, you should be looking at that problem and saying, I got a great big God.
Amen.
I don't have a big problem. I have a big God that will help me get that problem taken care of.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, 2 Corinthians 4, 8 and 9 tells us, we are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. So, at that time, you know, they're telling us right here that we are going to have troubles, but we're not beaten. We're not knocked down. So when you press pause, when an event happens to you, that's your first opportunity right there to present that problem with God. And talk to Him about it. His second R, response, is get your mind right. And it means managing 2 things, what you focus on and how you talk to yourself. If you focus on negative things and talk to yourself in a negative way, that will put you in a negative mindset and your life will suffer.
That's right. That's right.
So, if you bring it before God, you're probably not going to have a negative mindset, right?
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Because you're giving it to Him to help with that.
That's right.
So we look at Romans 12:2. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think.
Amen. Amen.
Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect.
Yes. Yes.
So when we put His will into our lives, we're not going to have negative thoughts. And it's hard sometimes when you're faced with certain challenges to not, you know, because of the way you're wired.
Right.
Amen.
That's right.
But when you put God into it, He's going to push you into the right direction.
Yes, He will.
Well,
Yes, He will. Yes, He will.
So when you look at these pictures, these are just daily challenges that you probably,
Yes, they are.
kids probably come into all the day.
That's right.
As a kid, dishing line, cutting in line. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The next one is probably pertaining to me because I will tell you that when I travel to work, I take 670 and get off at Cleveland Avenue. And everybody's blessed with some kind of talent,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty sure that that stretch from 315 to Cleveland Avenue
Mm-hmm.
is a stretch where everyone who's not talented with driving drives. I'm pretty positive.
Yes.
So, this guy's probably pretty ticked, right?
Come on. Quit stepping on my toes.
I mean, it's hard not to get that way
Yes, it is.
when somebody cuts you off,
Yes, it is.
you know?
That's my wife.
But,
It's lovely, but
but,
that's her though.
but we really have to learn to, instead of getting angry, push that pause button
Praise God. Yes.
and get your mind right
Yes.
That's right.
and start talking to God
Yes.
so that your response is not that.
That's right. That's right.
So, his third R is, your R is most important, which is your response when your event is most difficult. Resilience is one of the life's most important attributes because nobody wants hardship or adversity, but everybody gets it. It's inevitable. No one escapes pain, fear, or difficulty. In fact, a productive and successful life involves some amount of necessary pain.
Yes.
When it happens, don't run from it, learn from it.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
So,
Amen.
we can't let things get us down. It's only going to grow us stronger and closer to God
That's right.
when we're putting Him out there and giving it to Him.
Yes.
When He brings you through the other side,
Yes.
it's making you stronger.
Yes.
Yes.
And you learn from those things.
Yes.
And how you respond to things, and then you start to respond in a positive light, those outcomes will start to change.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being a negative outcome, it becomes a positive outcome.
Yes.
Amen.
John 16:33 tells us, I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me.
Yes.
Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but I take heart because I have overcome the world.
Don't come to me. Yes.
So he's telling you that you're going to have troubles.
Yes.
We're going to have lots of troubles in our lives.
Yes.
Don't let it get you down. He's overcome the world. And through him, you will too.
Yes.
So no matter what's going on in your life, don't let it get you down.
That's right.
His fourth response is adjust and adapt. If what you're doing isn't working, change it.
Come on.
Don't blame the event. Choose a better response.
That's right. That's right.
Don't hold on to what's holding you back.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Make sure the habits you have today are in alignment with God.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
So, that's a big one right there.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's right.
I
Amen.
mean, if it's not working for you, then you have to change it.
Yes.
Probably what's happening, if your outcome is not working out, it's probably because you're not putting God into it.
That's
Amen.
right.
Amen.
So the choices you're making
Yes, sir.
is probably not of God.
That's
And when
right.
you make those choices, it usually doesn't turn out how you wished it would
There you
have.
That's
go.
right.
And that goes
Yes,
in
sir.
everything we do, from choices of finances, choices to jobs, choices to anything. If you're not putting God into it,
Yes.
in those decisions, if you decide, I'm just going to go out and buy this Lamborghini next today, I bet you God doesn't necessarily want you to have that Lamborghini. Probably going to put you in a really bad financial situation.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
So take it to Him first and
Yes.
see what He tells you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ephesians 4:22 and 24.
Mhm.
Throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy.
Yes. Yes.
So this is, when you're making decisions and you're thinking through your new self and not your old sinful ways, your decisions that you'll make is going to be more aligned with God.
Yes.
And you're going to get a better outcome from that.
Yes. Yes.
Make a difference.
Uh,
Your response is an event for others around you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So your actions and how you react to something affects people around you.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
So,
does.
make a difference means taking a complete ownership of the experiences you give to those around you and the contribution you make. The way you manage your response matters not just to you, but to everyone around you.
That's right.
So make sure that you're consulting with God in what you're about to do. To, whatever that challenge or that event is in your life, the response you have to that does indeed, in fact, affect people around you. So if you do a negative response to that, those around you, that becomes an event for them that is a negative.
Yes.
And now they have to respond to it.
Yes.
Ephesians 4:31 through 32. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you. So those people that may be doing things to you, maybe it's a kid bullying you at school or something like that, as hard as it may seem to forgive that person, pray for that person.
Yes.
Yes.
Amen.
Take it to God and pray for them.
Amen.
It may not seem like it's going to do anything, but I guarantee you it will. Because now they have someone praying for them that wasn't before. Just as you need people to pray for you, those people need people to pray for them too.
Amen.
You don't know what's going on in their life. That kid may go home and get beat every night.
Yes. Yes.
So his way of getting that out of him is when he comes to schools to pick on people.
Yes.
So, and the same goes with work. You may have people at your work that are very negative towards you, but you don't know what their situation at home is.
Amen.
So, we're to take the bitterness out of us, the rage and anger and harsh, and be loving, tender-hearted. His last response is build faith. When you're faced with adversity and you interject God into the challenges you are facing, you will come out stronger and your faith will have grown as you continue to trust God.
Amen.
Pastor just got done talking about trust. And trust is huge. When you trust God with your life, when you say, God, I'm done, take control of my life.
That's right.
You're trusting Him to steer you in the right direction. He's going to.
That's right.
When you completely give yourself to Him,
That's right.
He takes control and He guides you and drives you right to where you want to go.
Yes.
He talked about GPS. Everybody plugs in in these cars today, you got a GPS, you plug in the directions you want to go to, and it takes you right where you're going.
That's right.
It tells you about traffic.
Yes.
And, God put this on me, it's over a year ago, about GPS. The meaning of that is a global position satellite.
Yes.
Well, God's is not a global position satellite.
Come on.
His is God's plan for salvation.
All right.
So, when you let Him in charge, He's taking you straight to your
Yes,
salvation.
He is. Yes, He is.
So James 1, 2, and 4, faith and endurance. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy.
Mm-hmm.
For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing.
Needing nothing. Yes.
How about that?
I like that.
So
Yes, sir.
that's enough right there.
Yes, it is.
We've went through all these steps, and you've seen in the Bible where it tells you those exact steps through the Bible.
Yes.
Now, one thing I've learned about Urban was, and I didn't know he did this, but he goes to Bible study every day for 60 minutes, every morning when he gets up. I never knew that about him. Sometimes he has to miss it, but he says he makes up for it later in the day if he can't be there in that morning to do that.
Yes.
It's become a very valuable part of his life.
Yes.
And that's his, personal reflection, his time with God. And we all need that.
Yes.
I had an old pastor that used to use an analogy. He had a stool up there with 3 legs on it. And each one of those legs represented something. One was your family, one was your church family, and the other leg was your personal relationship with God.
Yes.
As long as you had those 3 foundations there, that stool was steady.
Amen.
If you removed any one of those legs, it started wobbling around. So you take out your personal relationship with God, you're starting to wobble.
That's right.
You pull out your church family, now you're just wobbling around on one pull that last one out, you're on the ground.
Amen.
So you need that well-rounded footing.
Yes.
You need those in your life
Yes.
so that you continue to walk right with God.
Yes.
Proverbs 3, 4, and 6. Then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation.
Yes.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take.
Yes.
Reputations, especially in the workplace and even at school, mean a lot.
Yeah.
Some kids use reputations for mean things, but when you're doing good and you're doing right by God, your reputation can only be good.
Yes.
Darkness cannot stand in the light.
That's right.
So when you're surrounded by God and you have light in your life, you're shining for someone else.
Yes.
And they are naturally attracted to you.
Yes.
So you may be persecuted by people who don't believe,
Come on.
but they can't touch you.
Yes.
You are protected by God, and your light shines through that. That darkness will never stand.
Yes.
Amen.
I had this in the path.
Still right.
You have a nice smooth path to the left
Yeah.
and one going up to the right. The one to the right is pretty rough, right? As an old motocrosser, this path is the most enticing one to go up.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because it's a challenge.
Yes.
And as any kind of racer, motocrosser, they're going to look at a challenge and go, I got to do that. Because
Yes.
when you get done with it, you stand to the top and you go, I made it up this hill. Woo!
I made it. Yes.
So you look at each one of these challenges, those are opportunities.
Yes, sir.
Every single one of them. An opportunity to not only make it to the top, but each one of those bumps in the road that you go across in your life, you're becoming more and more in line with God,
Yes.
and you're beginning to develop your trust and faith in God. It gets stronger and stronger. But to some people, you're their Bible,
Yes.
and you're going to have testimony to tell them.
Yes.
Yes.
And through each one of these trials and tribulations that you go through, you get, someone else is going to go through those, and they're going to see through you when you tell them that you went through that and you came out stronger on the other end.
That's right.
It lifts them up and gives them hope and opportunities.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
So yet another opportunity to trust in Jesus. Every time we come across a challenge, we have to give it to Him.
Yes.
And it's trust. Keep trusting in Him, and He's going to do
You have to.
for you what His will is.
Yes.
And it's always going to be what's right and perfect.
Yes.
So 1 Samuel 19, 10 through 11. This is David. These are evidences of David having trials. Okay? Now, Saul was part of his group,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Saul's trying to kill David.
Yes, it is.
Imagine that. Imagine your best friend all of a sudden turning on you one day, decides he's going to stab you with a spear.
Yes.
That's pretty rough, right?
Yes, it is.
So Saul hurled a spear at David, but David dodged out of the way, and leaving the spear stuck in the wall, he fled and escaped into the night. Michal saved David's life. Then Saul sent troops to watch David's house. They were told to kill David when he came out the next morning. But Michal, David's wife, warned him, if you don't escape tonight, you will be dead by morning.
Yes.
So that's pretty tough to deal with.
Yes, it is.
Someone that you know is trying to kill you that's supposed to be your friend.
That's
That's a
right.
bad event.
It's a bad event.
Yes, it is.
Now, David could have handled that. He could have just had Saul killed,
Yes.
but he didn't.
That's right.
Here's another example. 2 Samuel 21:15. Battle against Philistine giants. Once again, the Philistines were at war with Israel, and when David and his men were in the thick of the battle, David became weak and exhausted.
Yes.
He's at his weakest point, right?
Yes.
One thing David always did was he consulted in God in everything that he did. So every choices he made.
Yes, it did.
In 2 Samuel 5:19, David asked the Lord, should I go out and fight the Philistines? Will you hand them over to me? And the Lord replied to David, yes, go ahead. I will certainly hand them over to you.
Yes.
So God takes care of it.
Yes, he does.
No matter what. It doesn't matter what you're going through. When you give it to Him, He's going to bring you through the other side.
Yes, he does.
Amen.
God doesn't fail to give us opportunities to take on challenges. Our problem is that we often fail to accept His terms. If there's something God wants you to do, do it.
Yes.
God will take you there to the very edge of your faith if you'll let Him.
That's right.
Amen.
So, if He's telling you to do something, don't put it off.
That's right.
You know, we've all done it.
Yes.
We've all said,
That's right.
I'm not ready for that. I can't do that.
Yes.
If He's telling you to do it, you're ready for it.
You're ready for it.
So, listen to God. He's not going to steer you wrong.
That's right.
Matthew 17:20. I tell you the truth, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move.
Yes.
Nothing will be impossible for you.
Nothing. That's right.
So, what Jesus is telling us here is that the faith the size of a tiny mustard seed, you can overcome mountainous obstacles in your lives.
Yes.
So, with strength through God, it doesn't matter what that challenge is. You know, it could seem like it's the biggest challenge in your life, you know, a struggle you're going through. It doesn't matter what it is. With God, you can move that right out of your
Yes.
way.
Amen. Amen.
So I would challenge each and every one of you to take a piece of paper and write down on that a struggle that you're going through in your life.
Come on.
And I want you to put it down. And then we're going to pray over it. You can use the notes from the program that we got this morning, and I want you to write that down. And you're going to keep it to yourself,
Yes.
but I want the whole entire church on our Monday corporate prayer.
Yes.
I want you to pray for everyone in here
Yes.
about what it is that they wrote down.
Yes.
God knows what it is.
Yes.
He knows what they're struggling with.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we're praying for them, because sometimes your prayers can be, you could be clouded and your prayers may not be reaching where they need to go.
Right.
The more people you have praying for you, the better chance it has to reach you
That's
back.
right.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
That's
So, please make sure you do that.
Yes. Amen.
Isaiah 41:10. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. You know, He's told us He'll never leave us, never forsake us.
That's right.
So, even when in your darkest moments when you feel like you're all alone, He's still right there with you.
Yes.
He's going through everything that you're going through.
Yes.
And He's going to take you by the hand, and He's going to lead you through that.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You know, you could be laying on the floor, curled up in a ball, but He's right there with you.
Yes, it is.
You know, you think that you've done the worst thing in the world that you could have ever done, and you're laying there just, God, what have I done?
Yes.
But guess what? He died on the cross for you.
Yes, it did.
His blood washed you clean.
Yes, it
Yes.
did.
Through Him, you have a way to salvation.
Amen.
Amen.
Deuteronomy 31:6. So be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid and do not panic before them, for the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you.
That's right.
He's telling you right there. He's going to go straight through.
Yes.
He's going to bring you through to the other side.
Thank you.
Come on.
So don't be afraid.
That's right.
Only God can turn your obstacles into opportunities, your opportunities into results, your failures into achievements, and your pain into power.
Yes.
You can't do that alone.
No, you
You
can't.
know, if you don't interject God into your decisions and your responses to the things that are going on in your life, I guarantee you it's not going to come out that way.
That's right.
You know, He'll bring you through. You may think you get through something by reacting a certain way,
Right.
but somewhere along the line, I can tell you firsthand, when I wake up in the morning, if I don't thank God for waking up, I don't thank Him for allowing me to stand, I don't thank Him for allowing me to have clean water to shower, I don't thank Him for allowing me to have fresh coffee to make,
Yes.
a car to drive to work, and a job to pay my bills.
Come on.
Those are 6 things He blessed me with,
That's right.
and I'm just walking out of the house.
Yes.
If I don't thank Him for those things, my mindset's not right.
That's right.
So then when I get in my car and I encounter those people that don't know how to drive, my mindset is already in a negative mindset, right?
That's right.
So then I start going,
That's right. That's right.
you know?
That's right.
So now I'm giving a negative response to somebody,
That's right.
you know? So what happens is usually you start to anger and you start, I'm going to get around these people. So maybe I just cut somebody off.
Right.
So now they're
That's right.
mad at me.
That's right.
What I should be hoping is they're just back there going, Lord, please help this man.
Help that man.
You know? As we were going through this last night, Heather said something, I started laughing. She said, pray they have a flat tire or something like that. And I started laughing. I was like, you don't want to pray for bad things to happen. As much as you probably
That's
know.
what you want.
You know, maybe a state trooper is standing there to see them do something. That would be okay, right? But we have to, we really have to pray for people. Because maybe we're the ones causing the issue. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe everybody else is a good driver and I'm bad.
There you go.
Not in my mind, I'm not.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Amen.
Challenges will come to you, but as you trust in God, they will strengthen your faith.
Yes.
So, as we were talking, every time you trust Him through every little hurdle you go through, you grow a little stronger and a little stronger and a little stronger.
Yes.
And then, as you continue to go through these, as I talked about earlier, you become somebody's Bible.
Yes, you do.
You know, the best testimony to give to someone is when you've gone through hardship
Yes.
and they see that you come through on the other side. You know,
Yes.
if you can tell them, I've been there, I've done that.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and then they see you standing here today as a changed individual,
Yes.
and they see the good things that's going on in your life. It makes them go, I want some of that.
That's
Yes.
right.
And that's what we want to do. We want to be that light. We want to be that Bible for someone.
Yes.
Because, you know, believing in something you don't see is hard, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's why we have faith, right?
That's right. That's right.
So to a person that doesn't know the Bible and doesn't know God,
Yes.
you know, they don't have that faith.
That's
It's
right.
because they don't see it. But when they see it through you,
Come on.
all of a sudden they're seeing it.
Yes, they do.
You know, you become that living Bible
That's right.
to them.
That's right.
And now they can start to see how God works in your life,
Yes.
and they start to think, He can work in my life too.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
So
Hallelujah. Come on.
every day you have a new opportunity to glorify God.
Yes, you do.
Every day you wake up,
Every day.
you're gonna have new challenges every day. And that's your opportunity, your choice
Yes.
to glorify God, and you better be glorifying Him.
Yes. Yes.
He gives you free will,
Yes.
but you need to be glorifying Him in everything that we do.
Everything we do.
Every time we wake up in the morning, give thanks and praise.
That's right.
Thank Him for everything He's done for you in your
That's
life.
right. That's right.
You know, He continues to bless you every day.
Yeah.
We've already talked about 6 blessings that everybody in this room has.
Yes.
And we've just left the house.
Yes.
So He continues to bless you all throughout the day,
Yes.
Yes.
you know, and we need to make sure that we do glorify Him in all that we do.
That's right. Glorify God.
We're wrapping up. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age. Matthew 28.
That's right.
God is with you always. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. You put Him first in everything that you do.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
He is always with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Through the good times, through the bad times.
That's right.
He's always with you. He'll never leave you.
Thank you.
We thank the Lord for everything He does.
Yes. Yes.
And He's always going to be there
Yes.
to the end.
Yes.
So I ask all of you
Thank you.
to just remember to always praise Him. In this state of thanksgiving that we're in,
Yes.
put Him first.
Yes.
Yes.
Put Him in everything that you do. Those challenges that you face every day at work, pause before you answer,
Yes.
before you make a reaction, and let God make that reaction for you.
Yes.
You will get a positive outcome.
I want to thank you for watching this video. I pray that you were blessed by it, that it encourages you to have a deeper relationship with God, that you continue to fight the good fight of faith and grow strong and courageous in your daily battles with the enemy. I encourage you to subscribe to our page, like us on Facebook, and log on to our website. There you can submit a prayer request and support this ministry through a financial gift. And remember, if each one can reach one, and a reached one can reach one, then a 1-1 will have 1-1, and the kingdom will have been advanced one soul at a time. Thank you, and have a great day.